everyone, it is July and today we're going to be picking my July TBR. This is my TBR jar. So we are going to be picking our July TBR based off of these prompts, and this is the first time that I'm actually doing this, so I'm excited. I'm gonna pick 8. Yes, I think 8's a good amount. I'm gonna pick 8 little prompts from here, and then I'm gonna go to my bookshelf and then grab the books that correspond with these. Yeah. So if you guys don't know how a TBR jar works, there's basically a whole bunch of prompts in here, and I have to grab a book that has to do with whatever prompt is in here. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm so excited and nervous. I'm nervous. So not looking. Okay, first one is genre. Fan fiction. Genre fan fiction. Okay, so that's the first prompt. Next, plot involves the death of an innocent. Another interesting prompt. Okay, third one says plot involves an arranged marriage. I think I know what I'm going to read for that one. Next is number 4, a book on the spirituality genre. Dang, I was hoping I had to get that one. Okay, I've been so into fiction, I haven't really read anything nonfiction or spiritual or anything like that. A book written by a celebrity. Okay. A book published in 2023. So a book that was published this year. So we're at 6. 7 is plot involves a shop or a store. So it's number 7. And then number 8 is a book that involves demons. Okay, we can do that. Okay, so now that we picked 8 prompts here on our TBR jar, I'm gonna go to my bookshelf and look on my Kindle and see what books I can find that are going to match these prompts. So I will see you in a second. Starting off randomly, one of them was a book that involves a demon. So for that one, I picked The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. This is book 2 to the Time That I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon series, the Med Mishaps series. It's really funny, it's really silly, it's really quirky, and I really enjoy this author Kimberly Lemming's writing. The first book, which is The Time That I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, I will be talking about that in my June wrap up. But that basically talks about a girl, her name is Cinnamon, she has a spice farm, and basically that whole town grew up thinking that demons were like the enemy, until one day she ends up saving somebody that she thinks is human that turns out to be a demon. This demon ends up chasing her up into her like cinnamon field, and then she runs to her parents' house, right, and she manages to escape by hitting him in the face with a cinnamon stick. The next day he's at her doorstep and he's like, hey, I don't know what you put in my face, but it knocked me out of this spell. This goddess that you guys are worshiping, she's not really a goddess, but she's actually an evil witch that basically controls all the demons. And so the reason why we're an issue in the first place is because she's controlling us. She has to go on this epic adventure, which is the last thing that she wants to do with this demon, and there's romance and there's fantasy and there's fighting and adventure and action. A book written by a celebrity. For that one, I am actually gonna pick an audiobook, because books that are like written by celebrities, I prefer to hear it via audio, because it's usually the celebrity that wrote it that narrates it. So I picked Wishful Drinking by Carrie Fisher, and I believe this one is a memoir about her life, and I think this is also where she admits to having an affair with Harrison Ford. So for that one, I have chosen Wishful Drinking by Carrie Fisher. The next one is a book that is published in 2023. So for this one, I picked two because I'm not sure which one I'm going to end up reading. The first choice was one that I had mentioned in my previous video, which was in the July anticipated releases, and it's the book that was titled The Woods Are Waiting by Katherine Greene, and this is about a I believe she's like a police or a detective, and her name is Cheyenne, and she also has a partner named Natalie, and they're from this small town in Virginia called Blue Cliff. And basically this small town in Virginia, they grew up, it's a very like superstitious town, but there's this like entity that a lot of like people believed in back then. A few years ago, three children went missing, and they arrested this man who they believed was actually behind all these like heinous crimes and behind this whole like entity. So Cheyenne goes back to her small town and things start happening, and it is considered a horror novel. So we don't know if this is actually done by a actual killer, human killer, or if this is something much more sinister and like paranormal. I'm in the mood for horror. I'm always in the mood for horror, but the other option that I have here is a physical copy that I have. This one is called Bewitched by Laura Thelassa. This is book 1 in her new series. This is basically about a witch named Celine. So her name is Celine Bowers, and she is 20 years old, and she is a witch. And she wants to go off to this like witch academy or something like that, but along the way this dark god finds her, and he ends up grabbing her because he thinks that it's his bride, his wife. He thinks that Celine is his wife, and his wife actually betrayed him. So Celine actually manages to leave, and she goes to this witch academy, but witches start dying, and of course Celine is the one that is blamed for all of this, so she teams up with this like dark god. And yeah, so that's what this one is about. So I'm not sure if I will read The Woods Are Waiting or Bewitched. It just depends if I'm in the mood for something spicy or something a little bit dark, because I mean, I'm in the mood for horror, even though it's July. It's Summerween. Okay, so for the fan fiction pick, I'm actually really excited for this one because I've been wanting to read this book that everybody has been talking about, and you might probably already know what I'm about to say, and that is Manacled. It is a fan fiction that is based off of Hermione and Draco, and it's a adult fan fiction. So basically this is what would happen if Lord Voldemort actually won this whole fight against Harry Potter, and Harry Potter lost, and Hermione ends up being imprisoned, and something with Draco releases her or something like that, and he's like Voldemort's right-hand man. And yeah, so this one I don't know where. I know I can find it on like a website. I might have to read it on my phone, but I'm gonna try not to read it on my phone and see if I could somehow download it onto my Kindle, because I get too distracted if it's on my phone. Yeah, I'll be way too distracted if it's on my phone. So that one, I really do want to read it, so that I'm gonna try to get my hands on that. For a plot that involves a shop or a store, I'm going to read a book that I honestly wanted to read regardless in July, and that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, because everybody and their mom is like talking about it, and for some reason it gives me vibe, like those same vibes from like the book that I just read called The Time That I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I really loved that book, and the cover reminds me of it, and it seems like it's a really fun, silly fantasy romance read. So I really want to read this one. I don't know exactly what it's about. I kind of want to keep it that way. I heard that it's about this girl that has like a cafe, or she opens this cafe, and it looks like there's some sort of goblin or ogre, isn't it an ogre, on the cover, and then like a demon looking little smaller creature. Okay, so for the book on the spirituality genre, the book that I picked was The Pleadian Promise of... I picked The Pleadian Problem... Why can't I talk? The Pleadian Promise, A Guide to Attaining a Group Mind, Claiming Your Sacred Heritage, and Activating Your Destiny by Christine Day. This book, okay, if you guys know me from my other channel, I have another channel called The Witchypreneur. I am very much into like really like woo-woo stuff. So the Pleiadians is a type of extraterrestrials, and this is basically their promise to humanity. And yeah, and just like claiming our starseed heritage. So that's what this one is about. And there's this one, and it's a really like easy, quick read. I feel like it's like 100 or so pages, so this is going to be a really fast read. Next is Plot Involves an Arranged Marriage, and for that one I chose a book that I actually got from a Booktok author. Her name is Isabelle Olmo, and she wrote this book called Queen and Conqueror. So basically this is about a woman who had a husband, and then her husband ends up being killed by this king, and then she offers herself up in this arranged marriage to this king that killed her husband, as you know, when really secretly she's trying to get revenge on him. And this is a feminist fantasy romance, so I'm super excited for this one. It looks so good. The fact that it's fantasy, that it's romance, that we got space, that it's feminist, and we got a strong female lead character. I'm excited for this one. I'm super excited for this one. Okay, and last but certainly not least, it was Plot Involves the Death of an Innocent, and for that one, I chose a book that was actually recently recommended to me, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I've been seeing this pop up a lot more frequently again for some reason, and then a friend mentioned it to me, and I was like, you know what, okay, I have to read this. And this is basically a thriller, and I know it has to do something with like an author, and I don't want to look too much into it. Like, I don't want to read the synopsis, but I did kind of skim through it, and I know that there was like I believe it's the MC, the main character, that experiences like the death of her daughter. So aka that involves the death of an innocent. So I can't wait to read this because I really want to read a thriller, okay? Even though it is not spooky season, I still want to read something, you know, something that keeps me at the edge of my seat, and I heard that this one does just that. So that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Anyways, you guys, that is all. Those are my 8 books that I happened to pick from my TBR jar. I'm excited for this. This is my first time that I'm actually doing my TBR jar. I've never ever done this. There was one time that I tried it on Booktok, but I never went through with it. Like, I never read the book that I picked out. So now that I'm doing this on Booktube, I feel like I have more responsibility to hold myself accountable, because literally everything that I picked this month is from this TBR jar. So anyways, you guys, I will be doing a reading vlog for a few of these. And yeah, so I look forward to seeing you in future videos. I have future videos coming up, more like reading vlogs, and of course, everything that I read in June. And yeah, my wrap up for this month. So I will see you in the next video. And if you made it this far, put the little demon emoji, just because I'm looking at that Legends and Lattes and I see like the horns. You know, the little purple demon emoji, or any little demon emoji, to let me know that you guys stuck to the end. And if you haven't yet, please support your girl and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post, because I will be posting twice a week now on this channel. I also have a podcast called the Geek Goddess Podcast, which you can find on Spotify, and I will list that down below. Books that I am talking about, I will list those as well down below. And what else? I have a Booktok, so make sure to follow me on Booktok at tiktok.com/@geekgoddess. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!